I was taught that you can't talk about it, right?
And I had to protect my sisters. And I just try to show them I'm strong. Just keep your mouth shut and just go.
So what did the healing process look like for you guys? So it was definitely a long process for Zach and Chrissy to recover from the trauma that they experienced. So let's talk to them and see what this long road looked like for them. Do you guys want to talk about your relationship now and how that's evolved?
Well,
It's gotten a lot better. Like a couple years ago, she had her first Christmas here. She came over to visit from wherever, and it's like our first Christmas we spent like in 16 years. Our first Christmas.
that was really weird.
It was weird, but I enjoyed it. It was nice. And then
I just ended up here again a couple years later.
yeah,
So when you came for Christmas, you were able to make friends with the different siblings in the home?
I made friends with a couple of them, Tim and Michaela. I had a bond with them right away.
And then how did you land up at, you're now living in the same house as Zach. How did that happen?
Well, last year I was living in Penticton and I was far away from my family. I was starting to get really, really homesick. And so I wanted to live close to my parents again, but also close to other family members. So I chose the island because it reminds me of home, like the ocean, the forest. And so I was supposed to move in with a friend early this year in January. But when I went to her house, I started getting really bad anxiety. I was getting really overwhelmed because it's such a huge move for me, like from Penticton all the way to the island. And so my brother, my sister, Zach and Michaela, they called me and said, we're coming to pick you up. You can stay with us for a bit. And then I never left.
One thing about adoption that you don't think about is you adopt one child, but sometimes, or you adopt two children. We adopted Zach and Johanna, but Chrissy is now part of the family as well. Even though she was adopted to a different family, she is still family because she is Zach and Chrissy's sister. So Chrissy, although you came and joined our family, which we're very thankful and we love having you, what's your relationship with your adoptive parents / grandparents now?
I still have contact with them. I still talk to them like every week. We're still very, very close.
They're still mom and dad?
They are still my mom and dad. I don't refer them as my grandparents. I never did. When they adopted me, they asked me, do you still want to call us grandma, grandpa, or mom and dad? And I said instantly, mom and dad, because they're the only parents I've ever known.
So you moving in with Zach and the rest of the family, it wasn't in any way to replace your mom and dad?
Not at all. That's just how things happened. And I confronted them about it, told them the truth, said this is what happened. And they're like, okay.
So it's just another step in the healing process.
It's just another step in the healing process.
So do you guys want to talk a bit about the healing process? Because I'm assuming, well, I know for a fact, that you, just because you were adopted didn't make everything better. So do you want to tell us a bit about the healing process?
I had nightmares when I was with you guys. But for me, I was the oldest child of us three, but I was kind of like the protector. So I kind of just hid all my fear. I'm just used to everyone being abusing me. I just hid everything. Like they're trying not to bother me. I just had to stay strong for my two sisters.
And how did that work for you, Zach? Because over time, were you able to keep up that facade?
No, I couldn't keep up. I've been having nightmares when I was getting close to my adult years. Well, I always had nightmares when I was adopted, but then I finally cracked, and then all those years of you guys trying to help me build into a young man is just like, it all disappeared. I was back to square one kind of route. I'm trying to learn everything again, like I couldn't drive or take depression classes and anxiety classes and all that fun stuff.
And now you're almost turning 30. how are you now? Is it an ongoing process, or do you think everything's wonderful?
Well, I still remember quite a bit. I'm not too worried about it. I don't really care about the past. Just the way I am. I have to stay strong and happy. Keep on life. There's lots of life left.
So how was it for you, Chrissy?
Well, when I got adopted, my parents, they put me to counseling. But since it was so new and so fresh, I wasn't ready to tell my story. I didn't know how to. Like Zach, I was bottling things up. But I didn't know any better. I was taught that you can't talk about it, right? So, like, when I started getting older and like things started changing, I had nightmares too. I think I was 16 when things started changing for me. I went through like really bad mental breakdown, and I went through a really dark depressive period. And I went up to my mom one day and I said, I need some help. I can't do this anymore. So I started seeing a counselor then. I was ready to start talking to someone. And I started getting help. I started learning coping tricks and stuff. And it got a little easier. And to this day, I do see a counselor. I learned this year that I battle a lot with separation anxiety. I can't get close to anybody. I have a really hard time. When someone starts getting close to me, I make a run for it. Meaning, like, I moved around a lot over the years because I just can't get close to anyone. I don't know how to build any roots. And so I've been working on that this year.
So I'd like to encourage you to watch part 1 of this video series where Zach and Chrissy explain the journey that brought them to this part. So after everything you've gone through, it's been 18 years since you were separated. Both of you were adopted into separate homes, and now 18 years later you're back living in the same home. Do you have any advice or suggestions to anybody who's considering adopting, or social workers that are planning for adoptions for anybody? Do you have any advice or suggestions?
Adopt the older kids, because they generally, as I was part of the older part of what you consider older kids, and don't separate the siblings.
Babies are cute, but the older kids, they need a family too. Like that saying, kids can't wait to have a family.
So I'm so proud of Zach and Chrissy. They've grown into amazing young adults, and they are doing wonderful. The one thing they didn't share is they're both gainfully employed. They've got jobs that are paying their bills. They are successful. They're happy. They are there for other people. They are living their best life, and I am so proud of them for that. I want to thank you for joining us. I hope this gave you a little insight into adoption, and I hope it encourages you to consider, if you're looking at adopting, that older kids need homes too. And I am so thankful that we adopted these older kids.